So, Joy, in the last phase that you talked about in the second edition on living well, you include a list of some tips, living well even while sick. Can you share with us a few of maybe your top tips or guidelines
Sure,
from
sure.
this list?
Um, the first three on that list, I would say, are quite related. It's take care of yourself first, never, never, never give up, and learn. Sorry, I'm going to have to put on my glasses. And learn to be honest about how you're feeling. Those are all very first person things. I think in the chronic illness community, many of these illnesses are driven by hormone fluctuations, and the large majority of chronically ill patients are female. Many of them are stricken in the prime of life when they have young children or raising families or in early careers. And so, still today, even as independent and strong and forthright as women have become, it's still, I think, hard for us to put ourselves first, to be honest about how we're feeling. We still tend to want to please our doctors, our families, our relatives, our friends. When you add that to the fact that you don't get a lot of social support, particularly with an invisible illness, it makes learning to be able to stand up for yourself and say what you need and say what you're feeling even more important. It took me many years to get adept at that, to get more skilled at that. But I did find at some point I was able to be very frank and blunt about my illnesses and how they affected me and how they would affect my relationships with people. And it wasn't uncomfortable or emotionally charged at all. So it's something that you get used to over time as you practice it. Um, One of the other things I think that speaks to an important issue, I write to make friends with fatigue. Many chronic illnesses involve what I call the three-legged stool: pain, fatigue, and memory loss or cognitive deficit. When I say make friends with fatigue, what I mean by that is uh, it's in your interests as a patient to make peace with your illness, accept it into your life as part of who you are, including the fatigue, and begin to learn, what do I need to do each day to stabilize that fatigue? I learned myself for probably a decade I needed a 2 hour rest in the morning and a 2 hour rest in the afternoon in bed in order to function better for the rest of the day. That's what I discovered. So making friends with fatigue also involves the greater picture of accepting that you do have an illness instead of fighting and fighting and fighting, like we say with potentially terminal illnesses like cancer, that you battle it, you fight it, you beat it. With a chronic condition, at some point you have to make peace with it, make friends with it, embrace it, allow it to be part of who you are. And then that is the position from which you can build a meaningful life.
Joy, thank you again. The book is You Don't Look Sick, Living Well with Chronic Invisible Illness. Thank you.
Thank you.